It's time for sports, and I promised George that when he comes on air today, I'll start with a round of applause. George,
round of applause.
Congratulations.
There are a number of things. Let me ask you which of them, because one, Kai Havertz hit a hat-trick yesterday, his first senior hat-trick for Chelsea, as Chelsea beat Barnsley by 6-0.
You know that's not it.
That's not it, you're sure?
So go to the next one.
Well, the fact that Chelsea is looking good the next game against West Brom. Congratulate us for that.
No. You are looking good for a reason.
Good reason.
For a reason.
That Chelsea have found an option to keep her with the Balaga. Or the fact that Edouard Mendy has been signed.
Edouard Mendy has been signed.
Yes,
finally.
Yes, finally. Edouard Mendy completed. It's been officially announced by the club.
Great.
So officially Chelsea will now have a proper goalkeeper, or number 2 or number 1. Now I'm saying this because, well, so Chelsea has options in the goalkeeper department.
In the goalpost, yeah.
And you would have realized that even in yesterday's game, it was Caballero who was in the post for Chelsea. Chelsea won that game. So the question is, what is Chelsea going to do with Kepa Arrizabalaga? Let's try and sort out the issues. Now, Kepa Arrizabalaga is on a very long contract with Chelsea. He signed for 7 years. It doesn't look like he's going to leave the club. I don't know if there's going to be a loan option for him, because as a young player, a young goalkeeper, you want to be in the thick of things. You don't want to be a second choice goalkeeper. So far as Lampard is concerned, he's got an option. Exactly. He's got something that will keep Kepa Arrizabalaga very active and wanting to give his best. Long term, you could make the case for Kepa Arrizabalaga. He may come through in some 2 years or 3 years or maybe a year. He perhaps needs to stay back and reorganize and maybe move away from the toxic environment, because so much of what he does these days is under so much scrutiny. So just because of that, you could say that, well, he still's got a future with Chelsea. But the question is, Edouard Mendy comes in with a lot of expectations on him as well.
That's true.
And right
this
from
is
day
a
one,
player
yes,
who is Senegalese.
Yes.
He's
From
played
Rennes.
all his football
Yes,
in France.
yes, and he's coming from Peter Cech's former club, Rennes. And Peter Cech is one of the guys leading this charge and saying that, I think this guy is good. Okay. I think this guy has what it takes. He's taller than Kepa Arrizabalaga. He's a 6-footer. Clearly, he has longer reach. So you expect him to do a lot of the job. But it's not as easy as we sit here and say, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5.
1 plus 1 isn't always equals 2.
It's actually all about what he's going to do when he's given the opportunity, you know, when he gets into it. So let's see. Because of the mistakes that Kepa Arrizabalaga made in the last game against Liverpool, I'm sure the rank and file at Chelsea were just hoping that this will be done, because right after the game, they announced that a deal had been agreed. So the news for Chelsea fans is that Edouard Mendy is in.
So West Brom, will he come in West Brom?
We don't know. It could be, because looking at the way they've done the business, this could be one of the options for Chelsea in the game, where they decide that, okay, let's give Edouard Mendy the opportunity to go through it. So that's, yeah, that's one. Luis Suarez as well has been crying all the time. He has to join Atletico Madrid. That's the other story inside that. As we were doing the transfer stories, Luis Suarez has been crying. He's got to join Atletico Madrid. That's what we told you about the story yesterday.
He doesn't want to go.
Yeah, obviously. But I'm sure when we come up with the other stories, you would see that a lot of guys are on this and talking about Edouard Mendy, and the Chelsea fans who have had their prayers answered are on. And the question is, we hope that this guy gets the job done. Ultimately,
I actually do not pity.
Yes.
I'm not envious of him. Yes. I do not envy him at all, because it's a huge task.
That's one good story I'll tell you about.
In 30 seconds,
sure. Yeah, in 30 seconds. In the Carabao Cup yesterday, Arsenal beat Leicester City by 2-0, but it was 1-0 if you think about it from the Ghanaian perspective. Daniel Amate, who's been out for 2 years because of injury, played yesterday, and it's good news. It means he could find somewhere